And I allowed room and space for him. And today we're best friends.
Yeah.
And so when you can release the change because you know they don't represent the end result of where you really want to go, you don't hold on to them. A lot of people have change on them that are only on them still because they're holding on to the chain instead of letting it go. The chain is not binding them. They're bound to the chain by choice. And I've seen that. People not making the decision to release. It's called release the chains. It's not, please help me unlock them. It says release.
Yes.
And when you release something, that's the work that you do.
That's so good, Darren. Woo! That touched me to my spirit right there. Like I felt that in my toe, my pinky toe.
And so
holding me.
Hello and welcome to another show of the Release the Chains podcast, where we have real, raw, and revolutionary discussions helping people just like you release your mental, emotional, financial, and generational chains. Today, I'm so happy to have someone I truly admire, truly adore, and has become a great friend of mine and just a great inspiration to me as well. So since I always like to do this, I just want to read the professional stuff, and then we're going to dive into some really deep conversations. So Darrin Henson is a 3-time award-nominated actor, 1-time award-nominated author, and MTV Choreography Award winner. Darrin won the coveted MTV Choreography Award for NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. You can also see him on The Family Business on BET and Double Cross, which he produces and acting in as well on the ALLBLK Network. Darren is best known for his role on the hit TV series Soul Food, where he plays the street tough Lem Van Adams. He also starred for 3 seasons on the ABC TV series Lincoln Heights. On the stage, Darren starred on Broadway in Ron Link's stand-up tragedy, and off-Broadway in David Talbert's stage play Fabric of a Man. Darren believes you can come as you are, but you can't stay as you are. Darren brings a no-nonsense education and straightforward thoughts and a high approach to the industry and the audiences all over the world. He has lectured in Johannesburg, in Durban, South Africa, and has brought his lectures to audiences in the U.S. Lastly, and over the last few years, he's been teaching people how to invest in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, where he's become a go-to expert in taking control of your money. So Darrin Henson, thank you so much for coming to the Release the Chains studio. I'm so happy
it's good to be
have
here.
you. How you been?
Yeah, great.
That's
great.
awesome.
Life is fantastic.
So I want to talk about money, personal power, and purpose. I think these are really good topics that are really kind of popular right now and will remain popular. So tell me this. So you've done a lot of work in TV and film, and I'm sure you get asked this a lot. You've played some amazing, incredible characters. What has been the most memorable for you, you think?
Wow. You know, I tend to, when I am involved with a character, say he's my favorite, but it's a lot of fun playing Orland Duncan. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, I get to play that rough side of myself and concerned side, right? The father aspect of it on Double Cross. So I'm really enjoying both of those. Historically, probably playing Jim Brown was one of the most difficult things I had done because I was playing an icon who's alive, right? And was really concerned about what he thought about how I played him. So definitely playing Jim Brown in The Express.
So did you ever get his feedback? Were you able to meet him? What did he say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Jim Brown has been a mentor to me for many years. You know, Jim Brown started the Black Economic Union in the 60s. He was the person who brought Bill Russell together, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to to let the world know that Muhammad Ali didn't want to go fight in the Vietnam War. You know, Jim Brown put that together.
Okay.
And so Jim is is the first black action hero and the first black man to do an on-camera kiss with a Caucasian woman in 100 Rifles with Raquel Welch. So he's been a lot of things in terms of our industry and our world. And the way he has presented himself is such.
And that's amazing because, I mean, he has so much just history. So how about you and your history and your longevity in the TV film? Because, you know, some people come in and you never see them again. Yeah. But you have been here for how many years? Well,
now on television for 22 years.
Wow.
And then acting since at another
years?
like 32 years collectively.
So what do you think has, you know, attributed to your longevity?
I think change. That's the constant in the universe. I don't try to stay the same. I'm open to change. And I'm open to growth. And I think that's important that we all embrace that. And diversity is the key, you know. So when I'm not acting, I was choreographing, I was dancing. And when I'm not doing that, I'm lecturing or teaching. So I think diversification is really the space and the place that affords me the opportunity to just keep going, growing and glowing.
Yeah, and you talk about lecturing, and I think, in my opinion, you are one of, and I'm not just saying that because we're friends, but I really, really feel that you are one of the most prolific lecturers, speakers that I have personally ever heard.
Thank you.
I really think you should put together like an audio version of your talks because it's so motivational and you really dive deep into a person's soul. When you lecture and you speak, what is it that you want people to get?
I want them to know themselves. Whenever I'm hired to do a lecture, a keynote speech, it's really from a place of reintroducing possibility to people and holding up a mirror of possibility to them so they can see it. Yeah. So it's not them looking at me, it's them looking at themselves through my words. And you know, I am blessed to develop, I think, the right words at the right time for the right reasons. And I just hope that it resonates with people where it becomes so palpable that they can actually use the information that's given to them for whatever they decide and desire to use it for in their lives. Because that's really what it's about. Each one teach one, we can reach one.
Yeah, and I'm always quoting you when I'm speaking on stage. I'm like, as Darrin Henson said, because it's so powerful. And like I said, it really touches you to your soul. So what have you learned about yourself, either through your lecturing, through your training with cryptocurrencies, which we'll talk about in the next section, or in acting? What have you learned about yourself?
One of the things that I've learned about me is when I play small, I'm not happy with me. In any aspect. You know, I have grown and built such a resistance to anything less than what I can become. So when I get, and it happens sometimes when I get comfortable, you know, other people may call it lazy, other people may call it not walking in your blessings, whatever that is. It's really you not exercising your ability in the moment. We've talked about this before. Now, new opportunity window, NOW, new opportunity window. And so every moment is presenting another opportunity for you to grow, for you to learn. And what I have learned in those teachable moments have been that when I don't exercise, it's like not brushing your teeth. Well, you can't talk about your great breath last week if you didn't brush your teeth, right? Well, last week, if you brush your teeth, great. But you can't expect good smelling breath a week later if you didn't brush your teeth. So it's the same thing with exercising your will, exercising your power, exercising your thoughts and your desires. You have to consistently do that, because if not, you start to play small.
And I love that about playing small because, when you talk about possibility, my book, All I See is Possibility. I think that it's just a positive way of thinking. It's a positive way of living because so much negativity is always approaching us. It's going to be here. It's just the way of the world. It's the way of the universe. But when you approach it with a positive aspect, you're reminding yourself not to play small.
That's right.
Right. And I think that is so important. I'm sure you've used all of that in your career,
Absolutely.
your teaching, and your parenting and your friendships and everything. So when we think about people, what advice would you give to those people who feel like I'm not playing big enough?
Well, I think you said it, feel. Right. So I've learned that in order to get a different feeling in your body, you have to move differently than you have been. Right. So that's something that I've learned that makes a huge difference. If you're slumped over, if you speak low and soft, you're probably not exercising the potential that you have. Right. Because it's not in alignment. Right. So in order for things to align, you have to stand up. You have to sit up straight. You have to project your voice, right? In order to get that energy, you have to move different. You don't feel the same way when you're sitting down, and when you're clapping, there's a whole different physicality, which brings different emotions, right? So I've learned our physical structure actually controls our emotional structure.
That is so, I love that. Now, I noticed that you also wear your jewelry, which I never touched. Listen, y'all, I tried to touch his jewelry many years ago, and yeah, I mean that hand came up so fast. I was like, "Oh my bad," because I
love you
because I wasn't educated on you don't touch people's stones. Can you talk about your stones and what they mean to you?
I have different stones here. This is an organite. For those people who wonder what this stone is. This stone has many different properties in it, but really what it does, it has gold inside of it. It has silver inside of it. It has precious stones inside of it. It's wrapped in copper, which, as you know, is an energy conductor. And so this particular stone has the ability to diffuse electromagnetic pollution. So in other words, we're always around 5G, right? We're always using our cell phones, right? We're always around different forms of electricity. Well, some have a negative vibratory frequency to them, which go against the natural rhythms of your body. So we need to be protected against electromagnetic pollution. This is an amethyst. The amethyst, you'll always see it is purple, or have a purplish hue to it. And this right here, the amethyst has different properties to it. It affords me to be grounded, relaxed. It allows me to think, right, with that highest crown chakra, right? The magnificent side of us, which means that we have to be balanced, which means we have to accept the law of polarity, knowing that everything has extremes, but we're in different degrees of them, right? So love and hate, same thing, just different degrees, right? And in the middle, you find like. Right? So love, hate, like, right? And if you're moving away from hate, you're liking, you're moving towards love. If you're moving away from love, you're liking, but you're moving towards hate, right? Depending on the degrees of where you go.
And that's my birthstone, by the way, amethyst.
So there you go, and that's power. And everyone, speaking of birthstones, everyone should wear their birthstone on them.
I have one just like that. Just like
you should wear your birthstone on you because because it's the property. It's what you're connected to already. It's like your astrology sign. You're already connected to it. You can't shake it. So when you wear your birthstone, it actually enhances your energy automatically.
I knew I was attracted to it for a reason. Okay, I need to wear mine. What about your third stone?
This right here is what I consider to be my special stone. Green is my favorite color. It's my birthstone color, which is an emerald, and diamond. So I'm a Taurus. April Taurus is diamond. May Taurus is emerald. And this right here is really special to me. It holds a lot of, this is probably the biggest emerald you guys have seen before. It's something that that I hold very,
Precious.
very dear, and it's precious to me. And I just keep it really close to me because it's a form of communication that I have myself. When I wear this, great things happen for me. When I look into the color, sometimes I just look in the color and it affords me the opportunity to feel a certain way. Like I love the green hues, light that you have, right? People don't know the movie Superman is about that, right? Like the kryptonite, right, had a certain effect on him, and so did the other stones that he was born in. So precious stones are very, very important, right? And so we called him Superman because he came from a certain planet with those properties. So, you know, I tell people it's important to really pay attention to precious stones.
Yeah,
and know yours.
I've been educating myself because I'm telling you, it's all around me all the time, and I know it's for a purpose, and I'm seeing it. I always see you with it, and I'm learning, and I'm just buying what attracts me. And I usually have my bracelets on, but thank you for sharing that information, you guys, because it's so important that we understand what stones and it's vibration, right?
Yeah,
it's
everything
energy.
is vibration.
Yeah.
Everything has energy. Even a stone, it vibrates at a lower frequency, but it's still vibrating.
Yeah.
It's the law of vibration. Everything moves.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So even this table, the glasses, they're vibrating.
Yeah. And so are we.
That's right.
And so are we.
That's right.
All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about crypto night. We're going to talk about some cryptocurrencies. We'll be right back.
No more chains holding me.
My name is Anthony Melvin. I am the owner and program director of IM Global Sports. IM Global Sports is an athletic training company. We use strength training, and we use speed and agility and plyometric training to complement that. When you come to IM Global, you're getting everything under the sun. You're gonna be doing Olympic lifts. You're gonna be jumping on 36-inch boxes. That's the kind of environment we have here. It's an intense environment. We play our favorite music in here, and the camaraderie here is unmatched. So our approach is, we don't care what the weight is. We care that you do everything correctly. Do it correct first, okay? It's athletic training, so it's a load and explode concept. It's appendicular movement, and it has to be done in unison. So as long as you follow instructions, everything will work itself out. If you struggle, that is okay. Like Frederick Douglass said, without no struggle, there's no progress, right? When you get to the other side of that struggle, where you're successful at what you're doing, now you understand what it takes to be great. And we teach that here. We can get a bunch of kids in here to work in unison and get out of here doing 25 to 30 different routines of work and doing it injury-free. If you want to be challenged, you need to come see me. I'll challenge you. I sure will. The main piece of what we do is work hard for something you want. And if they can do that and be successful, then I've done my job.
No more chains holding me.
All right, so welcome back. I'm here with Darrin Henson, actor, choreographer, lecturer, and now for a few years now teaching all of us, including myself. And I'm so thankful and grateful for you for just always texting me and sending me information and getting me hip and educated to cryptocurrencies, primarily Bitcoin. Let's talk about that for a moment, just in case there's somebody who's been under a rock and is not familiar. What is your definition of Bitcoin, and why is it so important to us right now, Darren?
Yeah, I believe Bitcoin, which was introduced to us by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. We don't know if he's a man, woman, or a group, but Satoshi Nakamoto, which is the alias that this person goes by, introduced Bitcoin, which commonly is known as a hedge on the US dollar. Before, our money used to be backed by gold and silver. In 1972, Richard Nixon took us off of the gold standard in 1972. So it became fiat currency, which means it's not backed by anything. And, Bitcoin is known to be on the blockchain. And the blockchain is basically if you will, a smart contract, right? Technology that is perfect. It's perfect. And it's perfect because of the need for it. It has figured out, it's an equation that has figured out how to protect us against the dying dollar. All around the world, we see demonetization. Bitcoin, in its essence, is a problem solver. It's a way for us to communicate with each other peer to peer in trading. The Indians used to give corn, right? As a means for certain food. They traded with certain things. This as a means of trade peer to peer. And we find it on what's called the blockchain. And the blockchain you can think about as a series of combinations that figure transactions out. And since Bitcoin has been introduced to us, we've had other cryptocurrencies. It is a currency. A currency is something that comes from the word current, something that keeps moving, right? Something that keeps going from person to person, something that is flowing. And so it's important because now it's a hedge against the demonetization of the US dollar as we know it. And it's important because it's needed, because it's seen as a valuation. And it's important to the people for peer-to-peer trading.
So what do you mean by a valuation?
Only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be mined. So unlike the US dollar that is being demonetized because of the consistent printing, think about it as the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is expensive, extremely expensive. Why? Because there's only one of them. Because there's scarcity associated to it. In other words, only 21 million. After that, no more will be mined. Opposed to the US dollar, which is trillions of dollars in deficit. And so the more you print, the less it's worth. Right now, our US dollar is worth about 17 cents. So it's not that things cost more, it's that our dollar is worth less. And because we're in a state of inflation, very similar to the 1970s into the 80s of the Reagan era, we're dealing with hyperinflation now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things are going fast. I mean, right now in Los Angeles, gas is already $6. I would say and surmise by the summertime, at least $7, and probably by the end of 2023, we'll be paying $10 a gallon in gas, and it's not going to come back down.
So how can Bitcoin help us through this process, especially when it comes to building wealth and taking more control of our money? Well,
what I say to people is this: I want people to be aware of what's going on around them. If you look at gas stations, Bitcoin machines, if you go to ATM, not only can you get money out of the machine, but you can buy Bitcoin at ATM machines now. You go to Vegas, you'll see ATM. Start paying attention to digital currency, which it is.
And this is all over the world.
Yes.
This isn't just here in the United States.
Absolutely. You have foreign countries that are cashless. Israel is a cashless society. Sweden, Norway. So Venezuela, right? So you're talking about places and countries all over the world that are now going cashless. But look, we've been using our credit cards for quite some time. That's digital. Okay. So it's not something new, but I think people have been spoiled because we've been using the US dollar, and because they can hold it, they feel I still have it, but they don't actually have as much as they think they do. I tell people all the time, if you're a millionaire, that's great. If you spend $1, you're not a millionaire anymore. Right. Just $1. If you have $1 million, you spend $1, you're no longer a millionaire. So let's stop thinking about paper money. Any country that has used paper money for 100 to 200 years, their money has normally gone down to zero. Now, we are the Federal Reserve currency. We are the currency of the world, meaning other currencies have fallen and have dropped, but the US dollar still stands pretty strong. Other countries are using our money to trade, but how long will that last in this economy?
That part.
We see what just happened in the Ukraine with Russia. Well, they didn't send dollars. They sent Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
$4.4 million of Ethereum was sent to the Ukraine, not dollars.
Wow.
And $30 million worth of Bitcoin was sent to assist the Ukraine. Think about that. They didn't send dollars. They sent cryptocurrencies. What is that telling you? That's telling you that's the currency of now and the future.
Yeah.
And subsequently, that 30 million that they sent, they actually sent them a whole lot more. Why? Because the valuation right now of Bitcoin, today's price is $43,000 per coin. They gave them $30 million. So when Bitcoin goes from 43 back to 69, guess what happens to that 30 million? Right.
It goes up.
It goes to
and up.
40 million or to 50 million, right? So they actually gave them a lot more, because as long as you hold the coins, you hold the valuation when it goes up. And I promise you, it's going. We knew that we were going into a crypto winter this year. We knew that. Those who knew. But we do consistent buy-ins. Right? Conservative, consistent
Yeah, because I was going to
buy-ins.
ask you about that. Like, I know you teach cryptocurrency classes like every month, pretty much, right? What are you teaching people in these classes? And then I want you to tell them where they can go and get the information to take the classes. And we'll definitely put it across the screen. But there are also people listening as well. So I want you to share that information.
Well, I do introductory classes every Sunday.
Okay, every Sunday. Okay.
And then we do the advanced classes once a month.
Okay.
What we teach you in advanced classes is the history. Well, first, the introductory classes, the history of money.
Which is important to understand.
So important. And one of the things, and this is a gift to you all, but one of the things that we teach is about coins and the value of coins that most people don't know that they have. And so one of the things I tell people not to do is don't take your coins and go to the Coinstar machine or just dump your coins, in those machines that, give you dollars for your coins, because coins have a lot more value to them if they're minted 1964 and before.
Yeah, you told me that.
If you're minted 1964 and before and you have a quarter, it's probably worth anywhere between $7 and $35. So all of those people, I tell them, never throw away quarters or dimes. Look at them, buy a dollar loop, look at their quarters, and see if you have any change that is 1964 and before. Because if you do,
let me write that down.
Yes, it's worth a lot more than a quarter. Those are dimes. Like, I went to the store the other day and this man gave me change, and I heard it because I know the difference in the sound. And I looked at it and it was a 1945 quarter, which was actually worth $25. And I asked him, do you have any more of these? He's like, yeah, somebody bought these fake coins. And I said, I'll buy them from you. And he goes, why would you want it? I said, I'll buy them from you. So I gave him a quarter for each quarter, but he actually gave me $235.
1964 or before.
Yeah. So in the class, we teach you about cryptocurrencies. We teach you about which ones we consider to be of value to the market, and not just because of a name, but because of what the coin represents.
Because people try to follow the trends and what's popular or what people are talking about in the news, but there's a process to this, you guys.
Absolutely. And we tell you that the coins that we pay attention to are the ones that have the smart contracts that represent certain technologies. That's what cryptocurrency is. They represent technologies that are important. So for instance, Ethereum. Ethereum is important. Why? Ethereum processes transactions. Well, when do you transact? Every time you go to a supermarket, every time you go to the bank. Once you put your ATM in the card and you ask for money, guess what you're using? Ethereum. Every time you go to the supermarket and you press your code to pay for groceries, you're using Ethereum. And not only Ethereum, but there's another smart contract that was created to be competitive with Ethereum that is much, much faster than Ethereum, and that's Solana. But Solana's price point is much less than Ethereum because Solana has been around less time, but is much faster than Ethereum. But in the future, we believe that Solana is actually going to exceed Ethereum.
Okay, so that's a tip.
There you go. Free game. If you want to learn the rest, you got to take the class.
Yeah, but how do we take the class? Where do we go?
Well, basically, people find me on Instagram. My Instagram is I am Darrin D. Henson, or they can come to my business Instagram page, which is HODL, HODL _now. Again, HODL _now. And you're going to learn everything about fiat currency or Federal Reserve notes. You're going to know the difference between gold and silver, which is really important to learn right now.
Especially right now.
Gold has gone up like $300 within the last few months. And we're expecting gold in the next 2 years to be at a $5,000 evaluation.
Oh, wow. That's good. Yeah. What got you so interested in it? It's passion. What got you so...
I like making money. I enjoy learning how to earn it because they make it, right? So, but now because of cryptocurrencies, we can make it, right? And what I mean by that is you can learn how to invest properly. You know, consistency is always the key. Consistency. And that's why I say each one teach one, we can reach one. What I'm passionate about is changing people's lives. I'm passionate about education. You know, people say knowledge is power. I say knowledge is only potential power. You must use the knowledge, be active with it in order for it to be powerful, because once you use it, it turns into wisdom. And the wisdom means you know what to do with the knowledge. So once I gained access to the knowledge, I didn't wait for someone to just teach me. I went and I dove in myself. I literally said, I have to learn this. And now I'm kind of teaching those people who have taught me.
And that's how it is. Once you learn something and you see, you know, the fruits of it, right? You're like, hold on, I want everybody to know about it.
And everything must change. You know, I don't want to go back and teach the same things. I want to keep people, you know, abreast of the new changes in the market, the new changes in the technology, because it's changing all the time. That's how I got involved with NFTs, non-fungible tokens, right? And they use the Ethereum on the platforms. And I had to find that out and teach myself about that. And once I did that, I said, this is fun, because once you start making money and you see that this is so real and you can see it happening around the world and you know the valuations of it, you know the market values, it's a real thing. It's
kind of like you would be crazy not to move forward. At least learn, then take action.
It's an amazing price to pay. You know, scripture says people shall perish for their lack of knowledge. And what I'm going to say to you is the state that we're in right now, it's going to become very uncomfortable for people. This year, 2022, is going to make people very uncomfortable because of what's going on with the dollar inflation and hyperinflation. Everything costs more. So wouldn't you want to learn how to take the money that you have now and make it work for you?
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Making the money work for you. I feel like when I have the knowledge, I learn so much from you, and I'm like, I'm not going to have the knowledge and not do anything with it.
I tell people everything that you have that's income, think about it this way, 50% of it goes to bills. You also have to give 10% of it to yourself to enjoy life. Another 10% of it should be education. Another 10% of it should be what? Investing, right? Yes. Another 10 of it should be tithing. So what we're simply saying is 100% of your money is going somewhere. If you don't pay attention to where it's going, guess what? A part of you is saying, oh, I spent all this money having fun. I didn't give anything to anybody. Then you go, if you're just saying, no, I'm investing, but you're investing, but then your brain will tell you, but I didn't have any fun. Yeah, I'm investing. I'm making money, but I didn't have fun. So you have to train yourself to divide your money once you get it. There's a book that I've read called The Richest Man in Babylon. It says, teach yourself how to make your money's children's children work for you, so you don't have to work hard for it. And that's what I believe. Money is here as a currency and an energy. And depending on where you put your energy, it's either going to build or it's going to decrease. Money is like a fickle woman. If you don't take care of her and pay attention to her, she is going to leave you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You guys, we'll be right back.
No more chains holding me.
She's a CEO is the ultimate family card game and also an educational business toolkit for seasoned and aspiring entrepreneurs. It's fun, it's challenging, it's educational. Get some knowledge and pay some homage. There are a few ways to play for the most enjoyment and benefit. Play your favorite card games: spades, gin, poker, bid whist, or whatever your family loves to play. Are you ready to be mentally challenged in a fun way? Play our signature BizWiz business development matchup card game. The objective is to collect the most customers correctly, based on matched business development statements we've created for you. Each week, research one of the noted entrepreneurs we've celebrated in the deck by pulling 1 or 2 random cards from the deck. Use the cards for daily, weekly, or occasional inspiration. Read their stories and learn more about the chains they've had to release to create long-term success and a legacy that will last forever. She's a CEO, a SheEO. Visit she'sasheo.biz to order your official business educational card deck today.
No more chains holding me.
All right. Oh my gosh, this has been so amazing. Welcome back. So we learned about your career and you not playing small, which is so important. We learned about Bitcoin and taking control of our money.
Yes.
And so I like to talk about purpose and inner peace, inner power, because for me in the work that I do, I find that as I'm working with entrepreneurs to help them build money so they can take the money and build and buy and create assets, there's always some kind of blockage there. That's the whole thing about releasing the chains. There's something going on within each and every one of us that we have to release, we have to break, we have to push through. So in order to get to live in a place of purpose, I know for me, doing this podcast is part of my purpose here on earth. So what is your purpose and what chains have you personally had to release to continue moving forward?
I believe that I'm living in my purpose, and my purpose is to communicate with others, to afford them their own opportunities by giving them the information which I've acquired throughout my life thus far. I find that when you have peace, it will lead you to your purpose.
Yes.
When you are in search of your purpose, I find that passion is the fuel that ignites the engine. But you must find peace first so you can be passionate, which actually is going to lead you to your purpose. So I believe that passion is the active ingredient that motivates the outcome, right? Outcomes, the purpose. And it doesn't mean you have one. You can have many purposes. People always say, what do you think your purpose is? Who said I only had one?
That's good. That's good.
Right? It's many. It's you being a mother. It's you being an entrepreneur. It's you being a teacher, right? It's you being great at what you do so you can help other people be great at what they desire to do. Those are different purposes.
Right.
You know, my alignment with dance was one, entertainment. But then my alignment with choreography was another. My alignment with telling my story in my books with, you know, if people don't know, you know, you help design and cultivate and enrich my book, Life's Teachable Moments.
It's a great book.
You know, and people get to read more of my story, right? That's a purpose. As an actor, I tell stories, right? That's being a griot. That's a different purpose. in the entertainment industry, you know? And so for me, I find that when you can find peace, it may be sitting in a garden. It may be working out in a gym. It may be boxing. It may be writing thoughts and ideas and poems down. It might be fishing. Whatever your peace is, find that and do it often, because then you will find a passion for something. And through that passion, your purpose will be born. And so for me, it was me telling the truth about Darren. I didn't grow up around my dad. A lot of people have a sad, sobbing story. I didn't have that story. I said, my dad just wasn't around, so he wasn't in my way, so I can become who I wanted to be.
That's good. That's a good way to look at it.
I empowered myself.
That's good.
And so for me, that was and is my truth. Like people say, you know, Black History or Black History Month, and we hear Kanye say Black Future. They're all tied together.
Yeah, yeah.
Because our history, when we're living it in our present, meaning we learn from history, but we're living in our new opportunity window, it will lead us to our future. We don't have to keep talking about our history. Let's talk about what we're doing now. The same way I am here with you now, this is a part of my purpose. This is a part of my agreement with myself to tell my story. This is a part of an agreement with myself to assist other people by being transparent. And so when I can do that and do it often, I'm living in my purpose, and it makes me so peaceful. And I find that peaceful, I'm really passionate about.
I love that. And I always say, once you find peace, there ain't no going back.
No.
There's nothing else that you want, that you'll crave, that you'll put up with if it's not peaceful. That is so good. That's a good way to look at that, because peace is so big for me. So I have these 7 different, not necessarily steps or process. You watched the show, so you may have heard me talk about these 7 processes that people go through in life, business, relationships, careers, whatever, to release their chains. And we're all at different stages, sometimes multiple stages. So those 7 steps are listening, peeling, detaching, forgiving, trusting, healing, and evolving. And if you want to see them, I have them there for you to kind of
Beautiful.
Let's sit with you.
Yeah.
What was it for you? Or actually, no, let's talk about now. You talk about the present, right? Where are you at now in any of those processes that you could share?
Really, it's me studying and mastering human needs.
That's good.
I've learned that everybody has the same 6 human needs.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's within those needs that we all are activated. We just put them in different categories.
That's true.
Someone would say, well, what are they? Well, the need for certainty. We want to know that we have roofs over our head. We want to know that we're loved. We want to know that we have food to eat. That's certainty.
Yeah.
But we also want uncertainty. You might say, Darren, what do you mean?
Well, I get what you mean.
Uncertainty is variety as well, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to know what's going to happen every day, day in, day out. That's called boredom. We also need connection. Connectivity is important, right?
Very important.
Our computers show us that. Our phones show us that. Connectivity is very important.
Yeah.
Also contribution. We love contributing our ideas or our actions, our words, our efforts. Important. Growth. If we don't feel like we're growing, we feel like we are dying.
Yeah.
And the 6 is love. We want to distribute and we want to receive. And so we do all of these others just to get to this 6. So the 6 human needs, every human being is governed by. We just put them in different categories. The person that loves variety the most doesn't live the same way a person who loves certainty lives. A person who loves variety might go hiking, might jump off a cliff, might jump out of a plane. A person with certainty
That would be me. I'm
right?
definitely the uncertainty.
Jump, right? Let's go. Right?
I'm definitely, it's uncertainty, but
right?
keep going.
And so we live differently.
Yeah.
And so I'm always in the midst of being aware and present about what need is being activated now. Like me sitting here with you, I know that my need for contribution is very strong. Contribute. Why? I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm too blessed to be stressed.
Yeah.
And I consider myself a person who acknowledges that and is activated within that. So again, I say each one teach one, we can reach one. And the more people, whether we're talking about happiness, love, wealth, the more you can teach and somebody else be activated from that, we have more to share with each other.
That's
right?
so beautiful. That is so beautiful. So I know you work with the amazing, I don't even know a right word for it, Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
just amazing. I don't even want to ask you what was that experience like. What did you learn from his life?
Wow.
Right? As far when it relates to purpose.
To love. I've seen and heard Michael Jackson scream.
Like scream how? Like yell? Or like scream from passion?
Like get it right. Because we were performing, I was working with him when we were doing Dangerous. And there was something going on with MTV like it always does. And I heard somebody make a statement. And I was like, and I turned around and it was Michael. So yes, he was kind and loving, but he was also passionate about what he does and how he does it.
Yeah.
And it was about getting it right.
Yes.
He was no pushover. But what I learned is, after he would do whatever he did, even if it was something where it made you go, oh, wow, he would go, with love. Right? And he meant that.
Oh, I love that.
And he meant that.
I can see that.
He meant it. And so I learned, and I've learned from you. I've watched you where something could upset you or disappoint you. I watched you go, it's okay. I watched you.
That's that all I see is possibility.
Yeah, I watched you knowing that everything's going to be okay no matter what. And so I learned because I stay present. And at the end of the day, once we lay down in our beds, we don't know if we're going to wake up.
Yeah.
And we must ask ourselves when we lay down, did I love as much as I could today? Did I give as much as I could today? Did I allow myself to receive as much as I could today? And if you can't rest knowing that some of the answers may be no, well, you pray to God and ask for another day to get it right. And so I think about that often.
Yeah, that's so good. Love, tied with love and peace and purpose and inner standing. You talk about that a lot.
Yes.
Inner standing and outer standing.
Yeah,
but
you have understanding. You have understanding means you're beneath something, means you get it. You can operate within it. But then you have overstanding means you have foresight. It's like a map. You can see over it. So you have overstanding, which means that the principles of knowledge are now wisdom because you have overstanding. I get it. There's a stoplight there. There's a passage there. There's a, right? It's like a map. It's a runway. I have overstanding. I can see. But when you have inner standing, there's no more struggle. There's no more fight. There's no more animosity. There's no more anger because I understand that somebody might not be where I am. Somebody might not be on that level. And you cannot speak to someone who's been operating in the dark and turn on the light and not expect them to get upset, not expect them to cover themselves. You might be bringing too much light to them in one moment because they've been operating in the dark. And so you have to have that overstanding as well. Not everybody's going to be ready just because you're ready to give them the information.
Very true. I've learned that through my journey of helping people, not helping, but assisting them and guiding them and supporting them as they release their chains. And that's one thing where you talk about passion. I'm so passionate about people, especially our people, foundational Black Americans, Africans, really releasing the financial chains, the mental chains, the generational chains. How do you feel about generational chains, right? Because that's something that we hear. People call it curses. I don't know if it's a curse. You know what I'm saying? No. What's your interpretation of generational chains and how that affects us living in our inner standing?
Yeah, first of all, I honor you for assisting people to help release their chains, because I've seen it for many years in you, and I've seen the work that you've done and how it's helped people. I've heard your stories of you releasing your own, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, I've learned that people don't listen so much to what we say, but they watch what we do. So we have to be examples of what we're teaching people. We have to be living examples. And some of the chains that I had to release, again, is not taking animosity with me, not taking anger with me. You know, a lot of people, again, they have these stories. My dad wasn't around. You know, some people I've learned, my mom wasn't around. It's like, okay, let her go. Love her anyway. Love him anyway. And I allowed room and space for him. And today we're best friends.
Yeah.
And so when you can release the change, because you know they don't represent the end result of where you really want to go, you don't hold on to them. A lot of people have change on them that are only on them still because they're holding on to the chain instead of letting it go. The chain is not binding them. They're bound to the chain by choice. And I've seen that. People not making the decision to release. It's called release the chains. It's not, please help me unlock them. It says release.
Yes.
And when you release something, that's the work that you do.
That's so good, Darren. Woo! That touched me to my spirit right there. Like I felt that in my toe, my pinky toe.
And so it is.
And everything else. So we are coming to the last minute of this this fabulous episode. Thank you so much for sharing so authentically. What word, just speaking to the camera and give somebody some inspiration to release their chains, and anything else you want to close with.
I work on me daily, so work on you daily. I love me so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, so you can love me back. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? So if you can understand and overstand and then understand that, always know everything starts and ends with you. So do the work on you, because there is no help that can come that can do the work for you. People can't help you. They can only assist you. But you have to want, desire, and be willing to do the work. And what I'm saying to you is you can, because you are more than enough. You are already validated by the Most High. And all you need is a little Godfidence.
I love that. And speaking of being validated by the Most High and confidence, you have to share. We have 30 seconds. You have to share about your t-shirts.
Well, yes, those are some of the slogans that I was blessed to come up with. You might have confidence, but I have Godfidence. I'm already validated by the Most High, so I don't need your approval. And I am more than enough, and I approve this message. Good things take time, so don't ask my age. And there's so many more. May I?
Yes,
you can get the shirts
absolutely.
on www.godsbillboardtshirts.com. Come visit me, say hi, leave a message. I would love to correspond and get back with you and get to know you. And I love you so much.
I love you too. You know I love you.
I love you.
You have become family. You're my son's uncle. You're my
That's right.
husband. My husband is always taking my friends. You were my friend first. Now you're his friend. I don't like it, but I'll let it ride.
I got enough to share. I got enough to go around. It's so beautiful because you are my family.
Yeah.
You know, and Amari is my nephew, and it's like, it's so beautiful, you know, where we come from. And again, as the other shirt says, we go through it to grow through it, to glow through it. And we are glowing and shining, and we just want to share our light. So I'm so glad that people are tuned in, tapped in, and turned on to you. And I'm here for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for your feedback. Make sure you put feedback in the comments, because that's how this goes viral. This is how more people can get these amazing messages that we're giving out. Thank you for subscribing, turning on your notifications. And guess what? We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching.
No more chains holding me.